Yes. What's going on, world? This is your man, Buddy Rahming, and we are back at it, y'all, with another episode of the Yeah Buddy podcast. And this episode is like no other. You know how I do? I always bring some of my friends in the entertainment business to sit down, chop it up, talk about our crazy stories in this entertainment world to see what we got going on. And this episode is like no other. Y'all, my friend today, y'all, huge honor to have him. This guy is I don't even want to call him a Bay Area, California, just a California comedy legend in his own, man. He hosts shows all around the country, man. You can catch him up at Laughs Unlimited, Old Sacramento, man. I want y'all to make it loud, make it live for my good friend, Mr. Tristan Johnson in the building, y'all.
What it do? What it do?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, man. We back at the lab, man.
We are back at the lab. My God,
yeah,
Trizzy.
man. We've been rocking and rolling for years now.
For years, bro.
I know, what, 2014, 15-ish?
Just about.
Yeah,
just about.
So yeah, we got a tenure in this.
We've been here for a minute. I remember the first time, bro, I went to touch a class first time or whatever. The first time I did like open mic up there or whatever. You was real chill, real cool with me. And then I ran into you maybe like a couple weeks after that up at one of those bars up at Citrus Heights or whatever, stuff like that. And I showed you the photo of us at the touch of class. He's like, you know what, bro, this is you part of the brotherhood now.
Mm-hmm.
You part of the brotherhood now. Yeah, it's been a wild ride ever since.
Yeah, man, we've been pushing the line. Remember we was working at Tommy T's when they had Tommy T's in Rancho.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had me as the house host and putting shows together. So I always try to reach back to my folks.
Yes, sir. Right before they put up that big old the mural or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was before the mural when it was just a black wall.
Mm-hmm. So we brand new year, man. 2025.
Yeah.
Before we get rolling into what we got coming up for this next year, let's kind of do like a recap of like how our 2024 was and stuff like that. I know January started off pretty hot, especially for comedians.
Yes.
Because we all know about the infamous
Cat Williams.
Yeah.
January. Wow, I wasn't even thinking about that. How January started off. It started off from that December 2023. We was all auditioning for the West Coast Comedy Jam. You know what I mean? And it was the West Coast Comedy Jam, and we was all doing auditioning. And then in January, that's when they called and selected the comedians they were going to have do the West Coast Comedy Jam. And I did an audition, and I did my motherfucking thing.
Nice. So what was the I saw comedians post about it and stuff like that. Yeah. What was the West Coast Comedy Jam?
The West Coast Comedy Jam was a pilot that they were shooting. It was all the comics from the West Coast or that now live in the West Coast. So they didn't just want to have LA comics. They came up and did auditions at Tommy T's. They did them in Sacramento, and they selected a handful of Northern California comedians, and I was one of them.
Nice. Was that Scruncho that put that on?
Or Scruncho was the host.
Okay.
It was but he used to do a lot of business with Ice Cube, and he's a big part of West Coast.
Okay.
Music and stuff like that. His name was Laylaw. It was his production, but he got with a lot of people that carried it out for him was Scruncho and a bunch of others.
Okay. And so how did the West Coast Comedy Jam go? That was down in LA, right?
That was down in LA. Yeah, it was good. It was my first time shooting something like that. They made me sign NDAs, so I can't. Can't talk too much about it, but I could talk about the experience. I was the first comic on the first episode of the first season. So I came out, and when I'm telling you, I came out just knocking it out the park. I was ready for it. I prayed for it. I practiced and everything. So, yeah, it ended up being dope. I was proud of myself for what I did. And I'm telling you, Northern California was really representing. I'm talking about me, the Ricos, the Jay Riches, the Marios, even the Shea Sugars, the Lance Woods. Oh, D. Tyler murdered it. D. Tyler murdered it in a fashion that was just unbelievable. D. Tyler murdered it. Yeah, they were on different shows, and it was like after I murdered it on the first show, it was a few that didn't murder it as much.
Yeah.
It was
no California comedians?
No, I'm talking about the other comedians that they slept. But it was some dope ones there that was there for other night. I stayed there. We ran it for about 4 or 5 days. I only stayed down there for like 2 or 3 days. So it was some new comics that they're not new in their craft. They're new to me.
Okay.
It was some people that was knocking it out the park, and it was some people not so much.
They just had a really good audition, but when it came time for the bright lights is different.
Yeah, it changed the game. Yeah. But yeah, it was dope. I enjoyed it. That put me on a run where all I care about is recording content. I ain't gotta wait for no cable channel. I ain't gotta wait for no big platform for me to record myself. So we shot that on early February, the beginning of February. So that was dope.
And so with that, did that kind of build up the momentum for you to take it to the rest of 2024? Because I kind of consider you out here in Sacramento, it's kind of like the people's champ last year. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If you say you was a comedian's favorite comedian.
Yeah. I switched the style up. It's a lot of people in my coming up. You got to understand, the same time I was meeting you, I was meeting the Jay Riches, the Mario Hodges, the Lance Woods. I was meeting a lot of these people, and now that they're in position, they remember me, and they put me in position. You know, me and Mario went to Texas. Me and Langston did things, so whenever comics, they kick down the door, they say, man, y'all just haven't seen Tristan Johnson. He could do a church. Sometimes they don't want to do churches and they send me. And then, so I'm a comics comic. I mean, most of my career just come from the love that other comics have for me. And that's probably by the way that I conduct myself. And I was getting a lot of love from comics, and I wasn't letting them down.
But you also do more for the comedy community besides just providing jokes and stuff like that, because you literally have your own studio set up in your garage and stuff like that.
And I try to just help. It's one thing to tell a comic they're not promoting enough or they're not pushing their career enough without giving them the tools. So whenever a new comic or somebody, they got a show, I say, come to my house. We could shoot the commercial on green screen. We got if you're not famous, we gotta show the audience who you are.
Yeah.
So I always try to tell comedians, this is a private owned business. It's like I got a coffee shop and you got a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 2 coffee shops in one parking lot.
Yeah.
We ain't gotta kill each other.
Yeah.
So if it's another comic, I tell them, push yours the way I push mine, because, like you said, I'm the people's chance. If you booking enough comics, I'm going to end up being one of those comics before the year is over. And if I got 52 of you, now I'm making a living.
Yeah. You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah, now you're doing something every weekend.
Now I'm doing something every weekend. Comics don't get the understanding that is that all you got to do is make a good 52 relationships, and you might not want to work 52 weeks a year. So you make those relationships and push your craft and handle it with integrity. You will be a good journeyman comedian.
Yeah.
The fame part, that will come with a certain level of momentum.
That comes with, a certain level of momentum that just comes with putting in the work. And then also just chance. You know what I'm saying? It's really just chance,
It's chance, and it's good when you get that chance to be a actual professional comedian. I'm a professional, so that means I'm a professional public speaker.
Yeah.
I have done things that wasn't even in comedy settings. I had to host a college graduation for the Black Union in Solano.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't graduate from college, but I'm congratulating brothers and telling them what they're going to do with their future and all that stuff just because I speak well and I can make a room feel good. So I'm doing another funeral. It's called a going home celebration. I have done at least a dozen of those in my career. So it's comedy, but it's also just public speaking.
Yeah. And it's also really just being able to relate to people.
Right.
Being able to relate to whatever it is they're going through. And with comedians, that's the rare thing that we're able to do.
Right.
Is be able to connect with somebody on a emotional, mental level and stuff like that without really just making them feel uncomfortable about themselves and things like that. Because laughing you don't have to think about laughing.
Right.
It's just something that just comes natural. You're like, oh wow, that made me feel something.
Yeah. Like doing comedy is like, it's almost like dressing. You might have a lot of clothes, but if you about to go visit your mom in the hospital, are you going to wear all your nice Liberace clothes? Or are you going to wear something decent? You know what I mean? Where you're not putting the attention on you so much.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with comedy is, you might have a joke about a gag ball, but is this the setting?
Is this a setting for? Yeah. We're at church. We're not at
Yeah. We had a church. We had a job fair. We had we're raising money for Little League. If that's your best joke, then you have closed the door on those activities.
You got.
Now I got all the nasty jokes. Too Short, one of my favorite rappers. So I got all the nasty jokes, and there is a lot of people making a lot of money off those nasty jokes, but go there with it.
Yeah, go there with it. Yeah.
I just want to be able to speak anywhere. Black, white. I did a Mexican church, some Victory Outreach churches. I did the.
You bilingual now?
No. But you from California, you might as well be. You might as well be. Talking about Hayward is almost the same as talking about Oakland. It's the same thing. So when I go down there and I'm dealing with Gilroy and all those people down there, it's like we relate. And then I'm one of those people, I could really get down with a culture. I'm not one of those people that separates myself. Like, if I don't rock with you, I don't need to be telling jokes to you.
Yeah.
I could tell some people come to black rooms and they're scared of black people, and fear is the biggest form of racism. You know what I mean? When I do jokes in front of white people, I'm not scared of them. When I tell jokes in front of Mexicans, I'm not scared of them. And they could feel like we're brothers. I'm one of them. You know what I mean? And so I'm able to talk to a lot of those people, even gay people. I don't have a natural hate or disdain or frustration towards same-sex relationships. So if I tell them a joke, they could feel that. I'm not making fun of them. I'm not tearing them down. I don't have those. I naturally just don't have those views. It's just that's what they're doing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, are you more of like everybody's a target or like nobody's a target type of thing?
I don't feel like my jokes target people. I feel like everybody's a human.
Yeah.
If I can't make fun of a special needs person, if I can't make fun of a blind person, if I can't make fun of a gay person, if I can't make fun of a church person, or somebody that think they so gangster, or somebody that think they so self-righteous, everything comes with balance. You can make fun of, when I go to churches, I make fun of pastors. You know what I'm saying?
Pastors are laughing.
I make fun of the old ladies at churches because that's where they need to be, but it's some jokes in there. If you feel like you got to target people and you really got to displace a certain level of hate in your comedy is a form of therapy. So if all your jokes is about gay bashing, maybe you're wrestling with something.
Yeah, you're fighting something. There's some type of inner struggle there. You just need to get it off your chest.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? It's people that chew tobacco. When I think of gay people, it's like me thinking of people that chew tobacco. Oh, that's what they do with tobacco. My people split the blunt and pull the tobacco out.
Y'all just put they spit it out. Yeah, we smoke. Yeah,
it's not that I hate them or I think they're disgusting.
It's still tobacco. They just take it different.
They got cultured into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I still have a great appreciation for the opposite sex. You get what I'm saying? That's the only difference. You know what I mean? And I like it. The bigger, the better. Too. Yeah.
So not mad at that. Not mad at that at all. So now we got talk about all the comedy, all that good jazz. What have you got coming up for 2025?
2025, I am writing to make my comedy special extremely cohesive, because this is what I want my kids and my grandkids to show the world. I'm going to spend a year getting it right. I might do a taping on on my birthday in 2026, but I'm spending this year making sure that these jokes are funny in all 50 states. So I'm trying to headline, I'm trying to headline at least 2 states, 2 or 3 or 4 states every month. And I got those connections, I got those relationships. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So when the special do come out, it's like, I know this ain't just East Oakland funny. I know this just ain't Sacramento funny.
This is like Maine West funny. Coast this funny. Is Massachusetts
this
funny.
This is Massachusetts.
Texas funny.
I just got back from Boston.
Yeah. How was that?
That was dope.
How was that?
Oh, that's the home of New Edition. I mean, I'm telling you, I treated Boston like it was at home.
Yeah.
Those are real black people.
Baltimore. I went out to shout out to Shade of Battle too. But I went out to Baltimore, not to cut you off, but I was like, yeah, there's black folks up in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Every single kind of black folks you would see.
Right. And in California, you can hit a wall. Sometimes you see, especially in Northern California, sometimes the ones that break out and get those relationships with Punchline and these comedy clubs is super white friendly joke comedy comedians. And I realized, like, I just haven't traveled enough. My people are in Boston. My people are in Baltimore.
Yeah.
My people are in Chicago. My people are in Cincinnati, Charlotte, Norfolk. And that's where I was like, Tristan, you keep on trying to chase Master's house, but you killing it out there in the yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I need. This year I'm not chasing comedy clubs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a great relationship with Laughs Unlimited. That's my home room, and that's where I started from. And they had me performing there when I had a mouthful of gold teeth and I had braids.
The braids with the
I was really hoodie two shoes. I was doing my thing. They supported me. So that's going to always be my homeroom, and they really support what I do. They let me name my shows. Hella Black. They know I be on some lift up my people. Like even this time I'm about to do Martin Luther King's real birthday. January 15th at Laughs Unlimited. So I salute Laughs Unlimited for always supporting me.
And so like you said, we'll bring that flyer up right now here. So you said January 15th.
January 15th.
At Laughs Unlimited.
At Laughs Unlimited.
You got started. Tristan Johnson, 7 p.m. Showtime. And you got Coretta Kissing Martin for sure.
Yeah, I had a controversy about that. I had another flyer. It showed Martin getting arrested. Somebody called me and it was like, man, some people could find that offensive, but I salute Martin. I think the way that they discuss Martin to us, they only try to show the soft side of Martin.
Yeah.
Even if you're pushing peace, you're pushing peace up against water hoses and dogs.
You got to be something.
He had some aggression to us. And it's 2 type of people that looks at Martin Luther King's dream, who remembers Martin Luther King's dream, or Martin Luther King's murder.
Yeah.
You do not teach nobody peace by getting murdered.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can tell us all that good stuff. I'm like, so if we're nice like Martin, we still gonna end up on that balcony.
Yeah, we still gonna.
Yeah, that didn't teach us peace. It taught us forgiveness. It taught us grace. It taught us of being strong in different ways. But Martin wasn't soft, and I'm not going to believe that Martin Luther King was soft.
No.
I believe he he saw something wrong. We talking about he's Dr. Martin Luther King. So we talking about an educated man who could have went and spent his time getting a good job or doing something else. Even at that time, an education is still an education.
Yep.
And if he could rally that many people, Martin Luther King could have made some money outside of getting water hosed and chased with dogs. So I don't see Martin Luther King as a weak person. And I won't even remember him as a weak person.
Nobody should, man. Nobody should remember as a weak person.
Yeah, so, yeah.
So we got the show coming up January 15th.
January 15th.
Martin Luther King show. What comedians can we expect to see on this show?
Oh, you can see the ever so smooth Big Sass.
Big Sass. Shout out to Big Sass, man.
Big Sass.
The Zadilac.
The Zadilac.
Y'all got matching chains, too. I noticed that. Y'all got the matching chains.
And that's Big Sass because it's short for Sasquatch.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be the biggest comedian you have ever seen.
Yeah.
And he even lost 100 pounds and he's still the biggest comedian.
Yeah.
You know, and he's the smoothest brother, talented. Me and him just got back from Boston. It's Big Sass. And then I also had to put the Oakland legend, Cinderella.
Shout out to Sin.
Yeah, Cinderella. She came up with Linnell and them. Sometimes I just hang around Cinderella so she could tell me about how comedy was with in the 90s.
Yeah.
She know all the locations of Tommy T's. She was like, Tommy T's was in San Leandro, then they went to Concord, and then they went here, and then they went there. So I'm like talking to Sin, I'll be like, dang. She was us. She was doing what we're doing in the 90s.
Man, I'll get back to you talking about like the lineup. But one thing I'll say, especially like with Sin and then like just the comedy game in general, it's one of the few things where like different generations of like comedians, they'll still like come up and collect, like you can still like talk to a Sin, and you know a show with Sin will be do a show with Thelonious, you know, and all this type of stuff to where I don't think you really get that with maybe other forms of like art where you just have different generations of whatever that art is that they could be able to just sit, collaborate, give advice.
And people don't understand being a comic. It's a special type of fraternity. You get what I'm saying? Like I have done comedians' funerals. I have seen comedians in the hospital. Sometimes they left, sometimes they didn't. I had Lance Woods do my wedding. When I got married, he got ordained, became a preacher, and
they did specifically for your wedding.
Did this for my wedding.
Dope.
You know what I mean? And he married me and my wife and stuff like that. We was roommates. We just lost.
Kabir, man. Rest in peace to Kabir.
Yeah, and I'm talking about a leader in our gang. Like that was like Mufasa falling.
Oh my word!
Yeah, because I
came out of nowhere. It was
it came out of nowhere. Do you know to talk to people? I had to lie and say I had an extra close relationship. Oh yeah, Kabir is good, and he would vouch for it.
Yeah.
Big Tris, big.
Just bloodshot,
and that would get you work. Just being close to him, and then I actually during the pandemic working with Jeremy Curry, I was actually able to work and link up with him and stuff like that. But me and him did the Bay Area Black 2013 together. We both events, so you know that dude was a special dude. But us comics, we be so close. Sometimes our families don't know us as well as another comedian. Yeah, you know, when this all said and done, and they ought to do a biopic on my life, it's got to be written by another comedian.
Because it's got to be directed by a comedian.
My mom ain't gonna know what I'm doing. My brothers ain't gonna. My children might not know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? This is what we doing.
What would the Tracy biopic be called?
$35 a show.
$35 a show.
$35 a show. I don't know how inflation. $35 might end up being a lot of money.
It might be,
Are they not understanding that, man? We was to make some money in this. I have to do 10 shows to pay a car note.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So. Yeah, $35 a show. That'll let you know the grind. When I got a manager and an agent, we used to butt heads. They was like, Tristan, you can't just be doing $200 and $300 shows no more, because people not going to want to pay you more than that. But it's like, if I don't do the shows, I won't be as good as a person that they're paying for.
I mean, even if I'm going out there just to practice, like, you rather me go to open mic?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I got to practice that out.
But they was like, you don't want to oversaturate yourself. And then, like you said, I'm a comics comic. I can't see me throwing the book at another comic on the way up. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we just got to find ways to get to the bag. I'd rather help us both make some money. And that's why I'm happy you invest in your setup and you got your own podcast. So we winning now. You know what I mean? I hope something happened big for me in the next couple of months that they go and flood this podcast and be like, oh, that's the real Tris.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of how Kendrick did it. When his first album came out, people went back and bought the old album.
Yeah, they went back. They listened to all the other stuff.
Yeah, they went and bought Section 80 once. You know,
and then they went back. They was listening to the Drake beef, all that type of stuff. Then they went back and listened to old beats. Like, oh, Drake should have known. Right. He went back and listened to like all of his old stuff. It was Mr. Morale, Good Kid, Mad City, Damn, whatever it may be. Like, I'm like, oh, y'all should have known a long time ago that Kendrick gonna fuck up anybody that you try to battle with.
Yeah, but I'm definitely the people's champ, the comics comic. I want everybody to win.
And that's something that you're aware about, like that title that, like, you are the people's champion, that this comedian is somebody that not only that's you can look up to, but also somebody that's going to be giving them good advice, but then not also give them good advice, but also help them come up like with the recording of the commercials, getting them stage time. How do you carry that weight?
I always remember that that's who I am. I can remember Ellis showing me how to write jokes. I remember Doughboy showing me how to write jokes. Doughboy from Wild 'N Out. BT Kingsley probably taught me things that I still use till this day. Some of my tags from my jokes come from comics that ain't even doing comedy no more. But they was like, hey, Trish, you can add this to that. Even me buying my camera when I'm capturing my content, that came from Nick Larson told me what to buy. The dude with the backyard shows, like every comic helped me be the Trissy that I am today.
Yeah,
I'm really built by comedians because before comedy, I didn't have these type of comedian friends.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm from a whole different world, so I'm definitely built by comedians. When I first started with Laughs Unlimited, I won a comedy competition going up against Insane Wayne, and he's the first person that ever paid me to do comedy in my life. You know what I mean? But when I got in with Laughs Unlimited, I was never a feature. They made me, I was never a host.
You went straight to featuring?
I went straight to featuring, and she, for the first 4 times she ever booked me for a weekend, she said I couldn't cuss.
But you did it, though.
She said I couldn't cuss. And I got used to not cussing. And now that's where 90% of my money comes from, not cussing.
Yeah, doing these church shows and stuff like
that. Right. So it's like she was like, yeah, you was mad because you had some good jokes about eating ass or all the little crazy stuff you wanted to talk about. Yeah. But look at me now. I just did a law firm last Friday. I did a law firm. I did a fundraiser with Gary Payton, and then a church saw me there and told me to come that Sunday morning. Right now, streaming, I'm on 2 different churches' websites right now. Me doing comedy in their church on Sunday morning. Not a special thing. Like, I'm a part of church now.
Yeah.
And it started from somebody saying, Tris, do this. Don't be hard-headed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm definitely built by comedians.
Okay, so since we are talking about, you being built by comedians and all that type of stuff, there is a part of the show, is what we do is we like to call it the Mount Rushmore. Okay, cool. So the Mount Rushmore, for anybody that doesn't know, it's just basically a game where we play with a guest They give their top 4. Since you're a comedian, we're going to give you your top 4 comedians, and then you just tell us why.
Okay. I know this is taboo. Everybody say it, but it's definitely Richard Pryor.
Okay.
My dad and them talk like Richard Pryor. I mean, that's how black men talked when I was being raised. So Richard Pryor is a voice that just, when I hear his voice, I hear my parents, I hear my uncles, I hear the OGs around the corner, So Richard Pryor definitely pretty much taught me how to be everything that I am.
Yeah.
And I say after that, I would put Cat Williams. Yeah.
Okay.
Cat Williams was talking how I was talking once I became an adult. You know what I mean? I never seen people talk like that. Talk about issues, talk about things that just pertain to us in a high quality, high intelligent fashion. You know what I mean? It's like he was the comic I could relate to the most. Once I saw Cat Williams, I was like, I can't be another person. I have to be that person. That's who I am. That's 2. I would have to put Dave Chappelle up there. I'd put Dave Chappelle up there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The level of thought on that level, I would definitely have to put Dave Chappelle up there. You know what I mean? To be a true thinker and letting us know where you can take comedy, where you can not just be funny, but actually saying something. Mount Rushmore ain't enough because there's only 4.
That's what makes it so tough, because once you get to that, once you get to the 3rd, then you think about that 4th, and like 5 more people pop up in your head and stuff all like that. That's what makes it such a challenge.
And then it makes me want to put a real person that I know, because now I'm not a spectator. You know what I mean? This ain't like LeBron James saying this is like LeBron James saying who his favorite basketball player as he played with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like LeBron saying my favorite player is Wade.
Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's 2 people. But I'm going to have to go with it because where he's taken it and where he have taken it. But see, the Dave Chappelle, with the Dave Chappelle, it's an honorable mention, Chris Rock. But I'm going to have to just come out and say it. Nate Jackson.
Okay. I ain't mad at that because he got the club up there. Yeah.
Nate Jackson, and it's like in this honorable mention, they go. It's about who I seen tell a joke the latest. If I just watch Nate Jackson in the car, Nate Jackson is number 1. But if I just seen Tony Roberts,
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It goes Nate Jackson, Tony Roberts, Nate Jackson, Tony Roberts, Nate Jackson, Tony Roberts. But Nate Jackson has been able to deliver his greatness on video. And that matters.
Yeah.
That matters. So definitely Nate Jackson.
Okay. So we have Richard Pryor, Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, Nate Jackson, and then honorable mention was Chris Rock and then Tony Roberts.
And Tony Roberts.
Okay. So yeah, if we ever add another mountain to, we'll put those 2 to it. Richard Pryor was interested because he was the first. Well, that was the first comedy special I ever bought, like Live on Sunset or whatever. And he was the very first comedian, like for me coming up, was a comedian, but also a movie star. But then so raw with like how he was in real life, he didn't really carry himself how you would see like a movie star would carry himself. He's like, I'm a real person, whereas a movie star is just like, you got to see me as this ominous figure that, you know, only time you see me is on when I'm perfect.
Yeah. Richard Pryor, I know he spent a lot of time. Paul Mooney is from the Bay Area. He's from Berkeley, Oakland, and stuff like that. So when I hear Richard Pryor's voice, me being raised in Oakland, that's how my dad talked. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you hear the Paul Mooney.
So it's like I am a Richard Pryor offspring, like in reality. Like that's the way I think.
Yeah.
How I think of myself as a black person. How I think of myself compared to white people.
Yeah.
How I think of myself compared to street people. I mean, Richard Pryor was in the movie The Mac. So Richard Pryor was telling jokes to the Black Panthers. Richard Pryor was in Oakland, in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, doing these drugs and raising these children and all these things. And a lot of his managers was from Oakland and stuff like that. It's like, this is Richard Pryor.
Yeah, there's a lot of comedy scenes that is sold in Oakland, man, that people wouldn't really...
And he was performing in Oakland, like at the Henry J. Kaiser and stuff. I just performed at the Henry J. Kaiser for the Laugh Feast. We raised money for the home, for the food banks. But Richard Pryor did a lot of stuff in Oakland. So when I hear that voice, I'll be like, that's a real person.
Yeah.
That's not a movie star. He's one of us. Like that's my parents' voice. You know, so definitely Richard Pryor. That's why he had to come up first. When the way we say nigga, the way we talk about things, the politicalness in his jokes, the coolness, all that stuff. Richard Pryor is just something else.
Yeah, first time I watched the Live on Sunset, I was like, I didn't really laugh. I was looking, I'm like, no, this is real. This motherfucker just talking like, I mean, you know, you get the chuckle every now and then, but nothing like how people are like, oh, I die on laughing. I'm like, no, this motherfucker just speaking some real shit that like I can relate to. I'm all like, damn.
I used that when I the voiceover when he was talking about niggas don't buy tickets until the day of the show.
The day of the show, Then they gotta pay extra price, extra charge for that shit.
They be stealing white people's seats. And white people, and then he sticks up for white people and stuff like that. When you see how Samuel L. Jackson act, and even Snoop Dogg and all those people being real black men and making white people love them, that's all Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor wasn't a watered down black dude. He had to retire the word nigga because he said it 1,000 times. But that's Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the reason why we say nigga after every word, that doesn't come from rap music. That comes from Richard Pryor.
That's funny. And then we had Cat Williams. Cat Williams. Was this was it the respect level for you go higher from after the Club Shay Shay, or was you still had that same appreciation?
I'm not gonna lie. I could tell that. I'm not gonna lie. It's almost like Tupac and stuff like that. When people say Tupac ain't the best rapper on earth, they judging him by albums that came out after he died.
Yeah.
But when you compare Me Against the World and All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli, no rapper is touching those 3 albums. Now, if you want to say all those things that he was putting out that he threw away and they just used it so they could sell records, then you could say sometimes he was saying the same thing over and over again. That's the same thing with Cat Williams. You get his first 3 specials, nobody's touching Pimp Chronicles.
No,
it's not a comedian touching. I don't think Dave Chappelle got something that could touch Pimp Chronicles.
Classic.
Self-esteem, that's esteem of self. When he did the DMX, and shit. It's nobody got it. Nothing on this planet before or after is touching. What was it called? Pimp Chronicles?
Pimp Chronicles.
Yeah. Him in that green outfit.
The green outfit with the big ass belt buckle and all that.
Nothing. That changed. That's like what is BC? It's everything after that or before that. Yeah. Nobody. I can't say anybody got anything better than Pimp Chronicles, but that's why I put an honorable mention as Chris Rock is. Chris Rock don't let us down.
No, Chris Rock be delivering all the specials, man.
Right.
And it like, what was the one that he did with Netflix or whatever? when he was in the all white, where he probably
when he addressed that one.
Just to do that live, you know what I mean? To do that live stream and all that stuff, like breaking barriers, stuff like that, because I feel like with comedy, the term special, like comedy special, is kind of getting watered down to where now it can no longer be about the jokes that makes it special. It's just got to be the overall package that you deliver to the people that makes it special now.
And when you do things for years, like E40, E40 probably one of my favorite rappers of all time, but E40 got actually 10,000 songs.
Yeah,
he got 10,000 songs and maybe 100 good songs.
But that's how it is. That's what it was.
100 good songs is 10 albums.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
That's all I need. So am I gonna get mad that he got probably 9,000 not so good songs?
Like, nah, I'm cool. I got you with that.
E40 got 100 songs nobody can touch. That's the greatest. Yeah. I'm not gonna, because he was nice enough to do a verse for his cousin.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna count that against him.
Yeah. So when I did the bitch remix video with E40 and Too Short making cupcakes, they was like, "Hey man, this is one of those 10,000. We just gonna push to the side."
Right. You did do that, huh?
I did that a while ago. For anybody that don't know, I did. I
remember that.
A few years ago, I did a music video for the Trunk Boys. Trunk Boys did the remix to Bitch. Still had E40 and Too Short in the music video. They just had me up in the music video getting abused by my girlfriend and baking cupcakes and shit.
Didn't Kendrick just use the Trunk Boys for his squabble up?
Yeah, that's how shit comes. Small circle, man. You know small circle. Me and Kendrick, we connected. We the same.
Yeah, man. That's why I had to put Cat Williams got even that Pimpin' and like his first 3 specials. I don't care what he does after that. I'm not paying attention to.
Yeah.
You know,
I always go back to Pip Chronicles.
Yeah. The same with Dave Chappelle. It's just greatness and the level and what he's reaching for. Anybody could go after low hanging fruit. He's going through stuff that people gotta. When Dave Chappelle talks, people go through it with a fine tooth comb.
Yeah.
You know, he can't just hook up and say, I was just saying some shit.
No, he's got a Pulitzer Prize. They we're going to dissect every single word.
Right. People don't understand what that actually means. So, yeah, definitely Dave Chappelle. And then Nate Jackson, what I have seen, when I seen him win the Bay Area Black, we used to pay him to come out here and do shows. And it was like, I have seen people damn near about to, shit on themselves, like damn near throw up, eyes popping, and the level of funny he is, and it's off the cuff. And then even once he go into material, it'd be like, Nate Jackson is,
cool.
So some people are just different.
And he's revolutionizing the game and stuff. So that's what we have. We have Richard Pryor, Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, Nate Jackson. Honorary mentions was Chris Rock, and then
Tony Roberts.
Tony Roberts. Yeah, can't forget about the legend out here, Tony Roberts, and stuff like that. So before we do get up here and wrap up this episode, was there anything that you want to let people know before we do?
Let you know that I'm going on a tour. I'm in your city. You can always inbox me and say, hey, it's a comedy show. I can reach out to the promoter and set it up where I can come to your town. I'm coming anyway, but it'd be good to make money with the people that's already making money there that got something, because I'm not just trying to come to comedy clubs. I want to come to people's Sunday night spot. I want to come to people's underground spot. You know what I mean? I'm not scared of black people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I got to come to your motorcycle club, your Elks Lodge, that's where my comedy belongs. You know what I mean? I'm the Chitlin circuit dude. Even when I make it big, I'm gonna bring the white people to the Chitlin circuit to make them some real money. So that's what I'm on.
And where can people follow you at?
They can follow me on everything: Instagram, Tristan Funny, TikTok, Tristan Funny, YouTube, Tristan Funny Johnson, Facebook, Tristan Funny, or Tristan Trissy Johnson. But everything hashtag or at Tristan Funny.
Okay, so and of course you can catch him January 15th at Laughs Unlimited for the Martin Luther King comedy show.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Can we get some of that merch? How we get is this?
Oh yeah.
Can we get some of this merch?
Yeah, I got merch. I'm gonna sell you. I got a jacket for you too, man. I got
a watch. I get a watch.
I got all that. You know, I record myself on my sets.
Oh yeah.
So I can have a good sound on my iWatch. Yeah. So that's why y'all be seeing me wear the 2 watches. But yeah, I got my merch. I'll be selling them after the show. It's Tristan Funny on Square Space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Tristan Funny on everything, but definitely come to the show and buy some merch.
Buy some merch. And y'all know me, man. I'll be your host, Buddy Rahming, and this has been another episode of the Yeah Buddy Podcast. Thank you again to my man Tristan for sliding through. You did what I'm saying. You can catch the Yeah Buddy Podcast everywhere you listen to podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartMusic, YouTube, and of course you can go to the website www.yeahbuddyent to catch up with all your favorite podcasts, sketches. Oh, I got all the funny business sketches up on there too. So we got all that on and popping on the website www.yeahbuddyent.com. Again, this has been the Yeah Buddy Podcast. My man Trizzy. I will catch y'all next time, y'all. Deuces.
All right.